Hello Wonderland, Kelly here. I am in Florida this week, and this morning I've come back to the Orlando Wetlands Park, which I'd been to in years past, but last spring I came back here and was impressed at the changes. They've added a really nice boardwalk, and it's a birding hotspot these days. So thought it might be an interesting idea today to put the R5 II through its paces, obviously, but also compare it to the R7. So for focal length purposes, I've got the R5 II and the 800mm f11, and over here I've got the R7 with the 100 to 500. So with the crop factor at 500, the R7 is an 800. So yeah, thought it might be interesting. Obviously the 100 to 500 is the sharper and superior lens, but the R7 might need that help. So let's do the birding trail here. I'm already seeing some interesting stuff, and we'll see how it goes. Come along. When I got here, I immediately thought I had made a big mistake because there are tiny biting flies that live here, and they were tearing me up as soon as I got out of the car. But luckily, I had insect repellent in my bag. I thought I'd forgot to bring it. So that's a relief. Okay, there's a whole mess. Let me turn around here. Up here, there's a bunch of black vultures on the roof line. They're not the prettiest birds, but might make for an interesting shot or two. All right, let's see. So that, oh, calling again. That's a little hawk, an accipiter, probably a Cooper's sharp-shinned. I can't really tell my little hawks apart very well, but he's cute. So I'll get a few shots of him. Compare the lenses. I think I can get closer, actually. Okay, so been kind of trying to snap some of the same shots of static birds with the two setups, but I don't think that will really tell us much. I think those will be pretty similar. So the real test is going to be some birds in flight action, I think. And I am seeing some birds flying around, so let me find a good spot where there are several birds and species of birds winging about, and then we'll get some better comparisons. Yeah, I have to remember to watch for alligators here. I'm back in alligator country. Definitely see some here, so I will, I'm sure. Okay, coming up to the boardwalk, and that's the best part. So let's flip around, and we begin here. As you can see, and the name Orlando Wetlands Park tells you, this is a wetland, so lots of marshy. There's an ibis flying over there, a couple of them. Seeing some more vultures. Yeah, there should be lots of stuff out here. Very nice. A guy just walked by playing the radio on his speakerphone. Don't be that guy. Luckily the birds here are fairly used to people, I think. Oh, that's a nice view. All I have is these long lenses. I didn't bring should have popped something in my pocket. Actually, what am I talking about? I have a backpack full of lenses strapped to my back. Anyway, right up here in this tree, there's a hawk. Thinking a little red-tailed hawk. So I'm getting some good close-ups of him. All right, yeah, let me swap a lens, because with the sun rising, that's a nice view over there. More hand over there. All right, fun times. I was starting to think the alligators were all on vacation, but finally saw one. Kind of off in the distance, but might be okay. I'll probably see more. I'm kind of circling a lake. It's a lot wetter here than it was in the spring, which is kind of interesting. But most of the birds I'm seeing, I mean, there's a lot, but they're mostly down on the water, wading birds or dabblers. There's an egret over there. Yeah, might be some interesting stuff. Let's see. Down here we've got a little gator. I can zoom in on him. Hopefully you see him in there somewhere. And then up in the sky, there were 3 birds circling, kind of in the distance, not close enough for me to see what they are. I got some shots. I have no idea what they are. They have really long tails. I don't think they're kites, though. Maybe. Now I don't see them anymore, but if they come any closer, hopefully I can ID them from the shots I got. Yeah, might be something new. A lifer. All right. Yeah, there's another little gator over here. Maybe those are the babies that I saw last time I was here. Oh, I think over there I see another head popping up too. Down there. If I can work the camera properly. Okay, now. So the boardwalk ends over here, and then there's some birds sitting in a field at the end there. And then it loops around that away. So yeah, I still got some time. We continue. Full disclosure, this is turning out to be more a test of the R5 Mark II with the 800mm. I haven't been swapping between the two too much because the R5 II is what I'm carrying in my hand, and I've got the R7 attached. So to switch, I have to put down the R5 and unhook the R7, and I'm lazy. But what I can say so far, haven't been doing, really I don't think I've tried any action shots yet with the R7, but a few times birds have passed by, some fairly close, flying, and the R5 definitely makes it easy. R5 Mark II definitely makes it easy to just pull it up and snap focus. It grabs it really quickly, and that has gotten me a couple of good airborne shots, I think, so that might be interesting. I've got it set up with pre-capture on, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but because I haven't really used pre-capture much yet. But the way I've got it set is with the back button autofocus, I can leave pre-capture enabled, and if I want to use it, I have pressed the shutter button because that starts buffering. And then if I don't want to use it, I don't have pressed the shutter button and just go straight to full press, and then it doesn't have time to buffer anything, so you just get what you would have got from pushing the shutter. So handy tip, handy trick to leave pre-capture on, but still only use it when you want. So there you go. Hopefully something useful out of this video. I'm on the back side of the big pond here. Lots of birds in the distance, but nothing real close. And I haven't seen a whole lot of small birds except for red-winged blackbirds and some grackles. And those aren't too interesting usually. But I'm keeping an eye out. I've seen more gators. A lot of butterflies, but they all seem to be the same species. Peacock, I believe. Yeah, I'm seeing some now, and they're all the same species. And they're pretty. Variety's nice. Ooh, some birds flying over. They might be ibises. Stand by. Ooh, tricolored heron. Spooked him. So I didn't get switched over in time to shoot the birds flying over, but they were some kind of geese. So hopefully I'll see them again up ahead. Something different, I think. Side note, it's too hot in this state, which is why I left. It's only 9 o'clock. There's a breeze, luckily. Otherwise, it would just be humid and miserable. But that's Florida, and that's why I left, like I said. So I feel like I'm very dark because the sun is behind me. I need to think more about my video angles. Anyway, okay, going on. Just got a fun sequence of a great egret eating a frog. First he flew by with the frog. I got some shots of that pretty quickly, but my shutter speed was at 1/640th, which is not great for birds in flight, so not sure if I got a sharp one of those, hopefully sharp enough. And then waiting for him to put the frog down the hatch, that was a good opportunity for pre-capture, so yeah, I got that whole sequence, I think. Sure I did. Okay, up ahead I'm seeing a couple of birds. I think an aninga and something else. Let's find out. Good stuff. I'm kind of on the home stretch, or turning onto it. So to give the R7 some actual time, I've swapped the R5 to my carrier, and now I've got the R7 in hand, and that will force me to use it. So let's do that. I'm heading down, turn around here, head down this trail, which will take me back to the boardwalk, and then I'll backtrack that way. So, okay, let us see what we can see. I lived in Florida a long time. This might be a first for me. There's an alligator just stretched out across the trail up ahead. I'm not quite sure what the protocol is. I think I could go around behind it, maybe, hopefully. It's not looking very active. Okay, I'll be back if I live. Well, I gave him a few minutes, but he wasn't going anywhere, so I'm not actually dumb enough to try to sneak around a fairly healthy-sized alligator. Only about a 6-footer, not too bad, but still, I like my appendages. And there's one over there looking at me too. Yeah, you tell your friend to get out of the way. Sheesh. Okay, so I'm backtracking again. The visitor center is right over there, so it's not like it's too big of a detour. And while I was waiting, I got some hopefully decent birds in flight shots of some snowy egrets that are flying around here. So, and there they go again. So, okay, yes, red-winged blackbird. Lots of good stuff here. Okay, some birds up ahead as well. I mean, everywhere I look, there's birds. I really shouldn't keep calling them out. But anyway, I continue. Well, actually, success. I met a guy with a nice hiking stick, so we decided to team up to sneak by the alligator. And if it made any sudden moves, he could use his stick to fend it off. So that worked well. He didn't make a sudden move, though. He stayed pretty chill, Decatur. So we almost figured it might dart off ahead, but he just hung out, looked at us. So, all's well that ends well. That's a nice little adventure for this morning. Okay, so now I am back on the boardwalk, as you can see, and heading back towards the entrance, of course. I'm hot and sweaty, so definitely ready to get out of here, get on to my next stop. So, but if I see anything on the way, of course, the R7 is ready. Okay, onward. All right, heading back to the car. Didn't really see anything interesting, just some vultures flying around, and they're not that pretty. So yeah, I'm gonna call this particular excursion today. But I'm thinking I might come back here tomorrow morning because it's awesome. So we'll see. And I'll wrap this up then if I do, so, or either way, yeah, okay. But for now, onward. Catch you in a bit. All right, I've come back to the Wetlands Park. It's actually the same day. I realized I have plans already in the morning. Yeah, so I won't be able to make it in the morning. So I was on the way back to the hotel and thought, got an hour or two till sunset. May as well stop back by and see what's up. I wanted to travel a little lighter though, so I've only got the R5 II. Kind of ditching the R7 for now. So I've got the R5 II and the 100 to 500 RF lens, my favorite lens, of course. And in my pocket, I've got the 10 to 20 millimeter in case I see a landscape that appeals to me. Already seeing some birds in the distance. It's very active here, which is great. So yeah, I'm gonna do the boardwalk. I think I'm just gonna do the boardwalk and see if anything presents itself. Let's do it. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so of course, whatever I can find is always on my agenda for shooting, but I'm also trying to focus on some birds in flight, like that aninga that just took off. Missed that. Been a lot of white ibises flying across into this bunch of trees, and I'm seeing some other birds. That's a snowy egret over there, I think. And I see a little blue heron over here, and an aninga, a couple of aningas. Several aningas. Okay. Oh, there's the white ibises up there at the top. Okay, so yeah, gonna shoot them. They're not flying, but hopefully still interesting. All right, nearing sunset, pileated woodpecker. Oh man, it never fails when I'm not ready. Yeah, it's nearing sunset. The birds are all heading to their perches, like those ibises, and a whole flock of egrets just took off out of here. So I think that's the hint that the day is drawing to a close here. And I am hot and sweaty and gross, and my foot hurts. So I'm gonna go back to the hotel, shower, relax. Yeah, that'll be it for this video. Another pileated woodpecker. Hello Wonderland, Future Kelly, cutting in. I realized I really didn't wrap up the whole R5 II Vultures here versus R7 comparison in this video. So thought I'd throw in a few thoughts now that I'm home and have edited all the photos and everything. So I would start by saying there was a little bit of the lenses I picked, right? So the R5 II, I had the 800 here. The R7, I had the 100 to 500, and that's really not a fair comparison. It got me the 800 millimeter on both effectively, but the 100 to 500 is just much sharper and zippier lens than the 800, so still a little bit of a disadvantage there. One thing I will note though, on the R5 II, the 800 has a much larger focus area in the frame than on the original R5. On the original R5, it was like the third, about 30 or 40% of the frame in the middle. On this one, it's more like 80% or so, so it's much better for that. And image quality, now that I've gotten home and looked at the images, pretty similar. I think given the R7, the advantage of the 100 to 500, those are actually a bit sharper, of course, because the lens is sharper. But of course, the R5 II has more detail at 45 megapixels, so it kind of made up for it. Pretty pleased with what I got with both setups anyway. Autofocus, obviously the R5 II was clutch, especially with birds in flight. Things would just fly by me within 20, 30 feet even, and I was able to track them and find them and lock focus on them pretty quickly with the R5 II, which was great, even with the 800 millimeter, which has the minimum focus distance of about 20 feet. So that was very handy. Something would fly by, I could grab it, which is excellent. And then pre-capture I was able to use with that egret eating the frog. So that was a nice little test of that, to keep it cranking. And then when something kind of decisive happened, I could grab that burst of frames. So looking forward to using that a lot more in the future. So yes. So overall, pleased with what I got with both. If you've got the R7, it's great. I recommend pairing it with the 100 to 500 because that remains my favorite lens of all time. But the R5 II, definitely enjoying what I'm getting out of it so far. Got some more excursions coming up here shortly, so look forward to more. Okay, back to me. Okay, yeah, I clearly need to stop filming, keep shooting a little bit. Anyway, yes, so hopefully this was educational, informative, and amusing. And until next time, be good to yourself, take care of each other, don't forget to be awesome, get out and wander. Later.